Hey everyone, it's Persephone. So I wanted to check in today because it's a really big deal day. My best friend's baby shower. I know I've mentioned in a few vlogs that she's pregnant. And so yeah, her baby shower is today. And it's kind of my big reveal to a lot of people. Some who haven't seen me in, a few months, maybe 6-7 months. And so the last time they saw me, I was in, the 170s, 180s. And some people haven't seen me since I was 200 pounds 4 years ago. One of those people happens to be my ex-boyfriend, who I've mentioned a few times. And how I never really mentioned what he did, but it was, of course, infidelities, I guess you could say. We weren't married or anything, but he was my first love, and I don't know, it was stupid, as it always, first loves typically are stupid, so it was pretty stupid, and I was definitely foolish, and he took advantage of that. He was foolish too. We were both just living a lifestyle that was just, it's unhealthy for anybody at any age, and we were kids, we were kids trying to, we just live this punk rock lifestyle. And I remember he even said once, he was like, this lifestyle is the lifestyle of a burnout, and you go until you can't go anymore, and I certainly hit a point 4 years ago where I couldn't go anymore, and I was done with the lifestyle. I was done with my relationship. I was just completely spent, and I snapped. It was kind of a creepy snap too. It was it wasn't like a passionate snap. It was I always call it the Stepford snap, because it was kind of like, I'm done. I can't do this anymore. I just, I'm sorry. Did you see that face? Because I have to sink in. I can't, I'm not in the picture or in the camera lens view, whatever. But yeah, I was just kind of I'm over it. I can't do this. And my heart was just completely broken. I remember sitting, and I couldn't even cry because I was so shocked and disgusted and hurt at what he had done to me and what my life had turned into. Yeah. And so that was July 4th, 2009. And it's kind of just been haunting me ever since. And I've had this loose end, because what happened was, since I snapped, I literally he had no idea that I was so poker face, literally poker face. He had no idea that I was so brokenhearted, passionately or emotionally just completely spent, and I acted like nothing was wrong, and I dropped him off at his friend's one night, and I never saw him again. And he has been wondering where the hell I've been ever since. So it's kind of crazy, because today is going to be the first time I'm going to see him in almost 4 years, 3.5 years. And I just, not to make jokes, but I kind of I kind of want to be yeah, let's just pretend everything peachy, and let's pretend I didn't drop you off at your best friend's house 3 years ago and never speak to you again. Well, I had spoken to him a few times, after a year afterwards, it was sporadic, but I never hung out with him. I never saw him again. And he would try, and I would try, and, I never gave him a reason. Even when he did contact me, I was like, oh, hi, how are you, it was just never talked about. And, but even when he would try and hang out with me, I just wouldn't hang out with him. I would find an excuse or something. So here I am. It's fine. He's moved on. He has this girlfriend now, and he's found God, which is kind of, I don't know if I'll ever tell you guys the raunchy details of the kind of stuff he did to me that was just disgusting and horrible. At least I think it's disgusting and horrible, but it's strange if you know the kinds of things he did, and then to think that he's super religious now and kind of preachy apparently is kind of I can't see it. It's I'm the last person to think that he is someone to be I don't know, infringing moral code on others. But, you know, oh well. Anywho, yeah, so it's just been, I've been having to, like, really mentally prepare myself this past week, especially the past few days. So I feel like the errands I've been having to work on and stuff, for the baby shower, like, all of the things we've had to do, set up and stuff, and make decorations, all craft, oh man. I almost haven't really thought about it, and so it's kind of good because I haven't been able to really stress about the aspect that I'm gonna see him again. It's just been more like, oh my gosh, you know, I have to make all of these decorations and stuff, but, you know, now I feel like since it's like today, like I'm gonna see him in like, I don't know, 10 hours, you know, I'm gonna be hanging out with him after I haven't seen him in 3.5 years. It's kind of starting to like sink in and blow my mind a little bit, but, yeah, so, I don't know, I've been having to, like, spiritually and emotionally, like, prepare myself, and I just got out of church, like, an hour ago, and, you know, I was, like, praying on my way, and I was like, I'm sorry, I'm getting into my religious stuff. You don't have to, you know, take it with a grain of salt, I guess, if you're not into the whole spirituality thing, but, anywho, when I was driving over there, I was praying, and I was like, you know, God, today's kind of a big deal, and I need advice, and I need you in the sermon to talk to me, and he did, and it was so strange, because, of course, it's so crazy. The priest was like, you know, sometimes people hurt us, and it seems like I'm gonna get emotional. I know I go from like 0 to 100. But he was like, sometimes people hurt us, and it seems, like you can't be repaired, and you just have to like, pretty much get your life together, get your stuff together, and get your soul together, and just trust God, and trust that like, it's happening because it needs to, and that if you choose to learn from it and to make something, turn a negative into a positive, then you can come out saying, you know, at the end that you can give other people hope from your own story and your own healing. Like, it can heal you, you know, you can choose to be healed and have your heart be mended again, you know, and you need to forgive others, and that, because when you have that peace to forgive them, and you're living, you know, I'm not saying a holy life, but just a spiritually conscious life, you know, I don't think you have to live by the book, you know what I mean, but I feel like that's what I got from the sermon, was like, you can, you know, as long as you choose to be spiritually conscious, then you can, you know, you can heal and have a story of healing, and therefore you can be, you know, an example of hope to other people, that if somebody breaks your heart, or whatever horrible things happen to you, or whatever just makes you wake up one day and you realize, oh my gosh, can I do this? Can I keep going? Because this is really hard, you know, life. You can be that hope to somebody else, or, you know, you can be an example that there is hope, and that there's a light at the end of the tunnel. And whether you keep walking to that light, or if you just sit in the dark, it's your choice, you know. But yeah, and then at the very end, he was like, now go, they always say go in peace to love and serve the Lord, right? Well, this priest said something a little bit different, and he was like, go in peace to glorify God with your life. That's what it was. And I was like, oh my gosh, that's so beautiful. I know, I'm like, I swear, my mother is like so emotional. I'm turning into her every day. But go in peace to glorify God with your life. And to me, that, it doesn't mean, like you have to be a nun or a priest or anything, but just be a light for the world. You know what I mean? Like, just be a good person and be happy and don't let anything bring you down or make you feel like you're less than, you know, and come back from it, you know, because I feel like in my relationship I was really treated less than human, and I feel like today I've just learned so much, and I've been through so much, and I've allowed myself to feel so much, like, human pain, and here I am, and I'm so strong. I mean, I'm crying, but I'm strong. You know, all these years, and I remember that night, the last time I saw him, right before I dropped him off, I remember sitting in my car by myself, and like I said, I couldn't even cry, because I was so just disgusted and shocked, and in so much pain that I couldn't even cry. Like, it was that bad that I didn't even have the energy to cry. And I remember sitting there and thinking, if I number one, I never want to see him again, but if I ever have to see him again, I want to be, there's a certain person in my mind that I plan on being, that I want to be, and that I hope that I am, when I get there, because then I'll be strong enough to fight his negativity, you know, to fight his evil aura. And I feel like today I am that person. Oh, man. I can't believe it. It's been like such a long time coming, you know. And every day I hoped, and I couldn't wait for the past 3.5 years. I couldn't wait to become that girl who was strong enough to just stand there, you know, and be like, you thought you could abuse me, you know, not physically or anything, but, you know, you thought you could manipulate me and poison my mind, and look who I am, and you don't mean anything, you don't matter, you know, like, what you did to me didn't break me forever, it didn't, like, look how confident and how strong I am, you know. And the weight is it's just a cherry on top. I feel like even if I were 180 pounds, I had done so much emotional work over the past few years that I would have been fine. But just this journey with all of you, and I'm not even gonna lie, like, having these communities, you know, this HCG community on YouTube and Instagram and Tumblr, it just really boosts your confidence, because you feel like you're not crazy, you're not alone, you're not the only person who has the thoughts that you have, you know? And, oh crap, somebody's gonna be outside my window listening to me. But you're not crazy, you know, you have a support system, and there are people like you who understand your frustrations and your emotions, you know? And, yeah. But yeah, you know, I don't know, these communities have just been so amazing for me, and I feel like if it weren't just my HCG journey alone, like, I think I would have been strong enough to handle today, even at 180 pounds, but I feel like this whole journey over these past few months has just been an extra boost, and I'm just so prepared. I feel so prepared, I feel so ready. Doesn't mean I'm not nervous, but I feel ready. I feel like I'll be okay. I'll send you, or I'll post a picture of my outfit that I'll wear. And maybe in my next video, I guess I'll insert it. Well, if I can, because my computer's still broken, but I'll figure all that out. But anyways, I just wanted to check in and let you guys know why today is epic. And I love you, and I'll talk to you soon, okay? Thanks for listening. Bye.